Hey everyone, how's it going? Shuffle's back here with another video, and we're back in Arena finally. A couple days ago, I put out a video about I think it was Anti-Air Arena Top 100. Today we're going to be doing basically the same idea, but we're going to continue the series. We're going to be doing sustained DPS. I actually planned on putting this video out the day after the first one. Unfortunately for me, my internet went out for 24 hours. And so I had waited until I was trying to wait till reset, and I waited for my entries to be full. So my entries were full right at reset, and then my internet went down for 24 hours. So not only were my entries full, but I proceeded to miss the next 12 refreshes. So I was down 12 entries by the time I got back into the game, and I got pushed way out of the top 100. I was like, I think rank 350, 400 in around there when I came back. See, I did lose 2 defenses last night, overnight. And unfortunately, nothing else shows. So we've lost no offenses since. You can see our offense win rate is at 94.2%. Defense win rate is at 44%. Most of that was from the previous mode earlier in the week. Let's take a quick look. So here's what I want to do today. I want to show you things I messed up in the first video. I didn't show you guys my gear of the stuff I was using, I don't think. And I didn't really talk about the teams in, like, say, the top 10. So I kind of want to go over both of those. Let's take a quick look at the teams here real quick. A lot of these are one heal with... That one's probably not great. They've got one healer with 2 or 3 fighters and a tank. We have a couple archers with a healer, 2 healers, I guess, kinda, and a fighter. We have 3 fighters with a healer and a Hatsuit. And this one I haven't hit yet. But again, a Hatsuit, 2 fighters, a healer, and an archer. If we take a look at the teams I've hit, this one was actually really close. But you can see he ran 3 fighters, a Hatsuit, and a Dolores. Now, he was fine. He was actually winning the entire way through because Salazar is OP in this mode. Unfortunately for him, once the stuff got tankier and hit harder, his Dolores couldn't keep up with the heals. So his Salazar and his Wrath just got popped. Also, his Wrath is not 8-5. So they just got popped, and from there, he had no chance. Some of these you've seen already, the ones we just went over. This is the one I actually want to go over, this guy from Mad. If you've ever played Raid, you know Mad from Raid. They've always been a top guild in Raid, and they're one of the top guilds here as well. Really high BP, which basically, if you didn't know, what's happening is the defense takes your BP and the enemy's BP, and then the mobs that you face are kind of in between their strength-wise. So if you face somebody way below you in terms of BP, they're going to be facing mobs that are higher than their rank, and you're going to be facing mobs that are lower than your rank, so it's really good for you. If you are facing someone way above you, however, like this guy's ahead of me, I think I'm at like 5, does it say? I'm at 326. So most of these people are below me. So all of a sudden I'm facing higher level mobs than I'm used to against that guy and against this guy from Mad here. Where'd he go? This guy. And this guy was winning the whole way too. He's got Nisande healing. Awaken 5 Nisande can be actually really scary because she boosts attack speed. And she does it twice. So when she's Awaken 5, she gets it again when she ults. Combined with a Salazar and a self-sustaining Wrath, and an A1 Hatsuit and an A1 Zotu as well. Very scary defense team. And he won, I think, like 3 of the first 4 rounds or 4 of the first 5. I can't remember. But then it came down to the final round, and because he has very little sustain with only Nisande, both his Salazar and his Wrath got popped, and the final wave just walked right by him, and that was it. So as soon as it walked right by him, he was dead. And that's somebody that was ahead of me, so he should have been able to tank his own rank, but wasn't able to because he didn't have a tank in his team. So all that being said, in the long preamble, I know we're 5 minutes in, but let's try our first fight here. We only have 2 fights, but if we win, then you get to see another one. Hopefully we win this one, because if we don't, we'll probably get pushed out of the top 100, and that kind of ruins the video. But this guy's also ranked ahead of me, and he's got a Hatsune in his team, which is very scary. I actually just summoned her, but she's not quite ready to use just yet. He's also got a Valk, who's probably going to be slotted in behind his Wrath, I would guess. And he's going to have his 2 platform damage dealers and a heal. I know Wrath is pretty good with the self-sustain, and I know he's got a decent heal. But I think even if we lose the first couple rounds, I think once he gets to the mobs that give off like AoE damage in the surrounding area, I think he'll die. I would guess that's what's going to happen. And that's only if he wins the first couple rounds. So I think we only need to win maybe 1 of the first 4 rounds in order to win this fight. But we'll see. This team is full auto. We start with the Isolde deployment. If you don't have her, you probably should, because she was in the she's in a fragment collector. So we put her down right here. Basically, you're putting her down where there's a spot behind her. So you want to be able to put a fighter back there. Then we're throwing our platform damage dealer down. You can see we never even got his ult off, and Hatsu just wiped that wave really quickly. So that's kind of unfortunate because we completely lose our entire ultimate skill there. And then we got Wrath down to the right of Isolde, and we got Arrogance in behind. So we killed all but 2 on that one, mainly because we missed our ult. Looks like we're going to have our ult back here, so we should win this wave, I would think. Yeah, so we win wave 3, and I think that's going to be enough to win the fight, because I don't think he's going to be able to sustain it, although he does have a revive in Valk, so we'll see. This is the wave I'm worried about. This is AoE wave here. Will he be able to sustain it? Can't see a thing that's going on. It looked like he's going to live, though. Not only did he live, but he won the round, so. I have a feeling that Valk revive saved him. We'll be fine on this wave. And he won't have a defense break, so we might be able to pull this one off too. The only problem is we don't have a... Oh, we did have our ult. So we got to our ult in time. What a close fight. So I would be shocked if he can win this round. I think he's just going to... Yeah, so there goes the Wrath. There goes the Valk. They're just going to walk right by him. One of these ads did get by us, but I think it's too little too late. Yeah. So because we brought a tank, we're able to survive that last round, and that's exactly why I saved that fight on my list, because I had a feeling he wasn't going to be able to sustain that until the last round without a tank back there. I think in the long run, especially if you have a damage dealing tank, if you have like a Torador, or if you have Captain Reeve or somebody like that, that's going to be best in slot. So like none of these teams have it. This guy here at least has a tank in his team, and this guy has a tank in his team. And this is essentially the exact same team we just fought. And this bottom team just has a crazy high battle power. So let's start with the Baron team. Kind of a weird team, but we'll take a look. This one actually scares me a little bit. The one below it. We'll hit that one next. He has no sustain, but I'm curious if his Isolde can live long enough with her shields, because that's something that I've been toying with. Is now that I have Hatsut, could I put Hatsut in for my Evelynn? Would I be able to live? So we'll take a look at that one. Also, because I'm running Wrath, I could get the leader skill on my Hatsut as well. Lord skill, sorry. Oh, so he's setting up way back here, which gives me a huge advantage. Because we're such higher level than him, we almost actually killed his Zillatune. Luckily, he got his light lock down. Did we draw that? What happened there? Oh no, we got... Never mind. Thought there was a draw. I didn't see the tower get hit. So his Zillatune can only block 2. And then his Val can also only block 2, so he's going to take some tower damage there. Plus, he doesn't have enough damage to kill anything. I really like blocking this off up here because it's really hard to tank everything down here, particularly if you don't have an actual tank. He did run his Setrum for this wave, but it wasn't enough. And he gets his tank in eventually, but it's kind of too late. Like, we're up basically 192, or 192. We're up 92-0 in terms of damage. And GG. Maybe we should have skipped that one, but that's generally how my fights go. The last one is the exception because it's the one person on the list that's gonna be a difficult fight. I think the biggest thing to getting into, say, top 100 is list clearing. Because you only have a finite amount of fights throughout the day, if you list clear, you get that extra entry. And if you can do it 2 or 3 times during the day, you're going to get that many more entries than anybody else. You can see already we've climbed up to rank 80. Once you get going, and if you get those extra entries, it's going to add up, especially at 12 points a pop. So yeah, we're going to use the same team. Like I said, though, I'm curious what happens in this one because they have Isolde as well, but no heal. Curious what would happen if I put my Hatsut in for my Elowen. But we'll see what happens to their team, and we'll get a base off of it. It would honestly be fantastic for my damage, but I just don't know if I'd be able to survive the later rounds. If I had an Oleg, I'd probably go for it. So he does the same thing. He starts over here. He opens with his Isolde and then Hatsut. And we actually win the round versus that Hatsut. I'm surprised that Hatsut didn't kill. If that was a like top tier Hatsut, that would have killed them and we would have been toast. I was actually going into this expecting to lose that round. Now that we are going to win it, he's going to be in trouble. So he got his fighter down, but it was a tiny bit too late. Probably had it timed to his Hatsut killing, which he hadn't done yet. So probably would have been timed right down here. Unfortunately, we're not going to get to see if she would live or not. Well, no, I guess we are. She's only 5-star, though. But, alright. So we didn't get that part of the test a fair shake, I don't think. But that's why I have a healer in there. Also why, like, if someone sees my BP and say they have, like, 400k BP, they could hit me, assuming I'm going to die if I don't have a healer. So that's a little scary. If you want to see the damage breakdown, here's the damage breakdown real quick. You get 6 million from Silas, 2.5 from Arrogance, and only a little over 1 from Wrath. My other option is I could take out Wrath and put in Zillitu in that spot. Particularly if I already have a healer in there, that would help with my damage. Because there's a lot of times where Wrath isn't hitting anything on my team. But let's take a look at our gear real quick. Actually, before we do, let's look at the top 10 defenses first, because I know I didn't do that last time, and I feel like I should have. So this one here, this guy clearly refreshed. Probably all the way. I know I missed some entries, but I would say probably like to here. These top 9 people have probably all refreshed throughout the week, at least, if not more. Because it'd be hard pressed to get any more points than I have throughout the week, unless they're winning a ton of defenses. So, unless they're in, of course, unless they're refreshing. So I would say probably top 9 minimum are doing a lot of refreshes. This guy obviously did a ridiculous amount of refreshes to make sure he's going to get that rank 1. Taking a look at his defense, though, for sustained DPS. So, very interesting, actually. He went with double heal. So he went with Salazar. That is an A4 Salazar, which is crazy scary. Kind of broken in this mode. And then he went with the Dolores and Elowen. And then an Estrid with his Silas. So Silas, I think, is great here because his ult just decimates an entire wave. But Estrid also has a defense break and can sit in behind his Salazar. So he's not running a tank, but he's running double heals. He really has to win this wave before it gets to the later waves. If it gets to the later waves, he's in big trouble. I would hit that defense, honestly. I think as long as I could win 1 or 2 rounds on the way to the harder rounds, I think I would win. Because I think his Salazar would just die. But it would be very interesting to see. This guy, sustained DPS. Another interesting team. So he's got the Wrath as his main go-to. No tank there. He's got the Araka, who is boosting the Silas and the Nisande, which is kind of scary. Scary combination. I'm seeing a lot of A5 Nisande. And then the random Comet in there kind of surprises me. Honestly, I would probably hit this team too. That Silas is going to be super scary paired with Araka, but still really interesting. So this is probably a team more in line with what I would prefer to use. With the King Hars, he doesn't do a ton of damage, so he's not like a Captain Reeve or an Azor or whatever that new guy's name is from Chaos faction. But I think that's probably better in line with what I would prefer in a defense if I was picking one. So good job to this guy. I don't know how to say your name. And then also Leia with Salazar, Zillitu, and Silas. Pretty crazy defense. Not in terms of like their awakenings, but just in terms of a defense, that's probably pretty close to perfect. Here's another one. We got Torador, so he's tanking and can provide damage, which is really nice. He's got Dolores as his heal, Hatsud is the primary damage dealer, Zillitu, and then Abomination. So very similar to mine, except he's obviously got the upgrade in the Torador over my Isolde, and he's using Abomination instead of Wrath, which is a little bit odd. And then he's using Zilla2 instead of Arrogance, and Hatsuit instead of Silas. But yeah, spot on defense. Torador would be top tier in this mode for sure. Let's look at one more. And there we go. So we got a Captain Reeve. So we got Captain Reeve with a Dolores and a Salazar. Those three are incredible. I'm all for the Araka, but if you're going to run Araka, I think you got to run a Piercer in this spot. The combat doesn't really fit. The AoE is nice, but I think running a Piercer with Araka would just be better. Assuming he's got a Silas or I don't know who else you would want to run there. Any Piercer almost. Hatsuit maybe? Or no, Hatsuit's not a Piercer. I don't know. But still, those first 4 units are pretty scary in themselves. Just looking for a 5th. Maybe he just hasn't summoned it yet. But anyway, that's kind of a breakdown of the sort of teams I would look at. We got another Torador, Salazar, Hatsuit, Arrogance at 6. We're not going to break down these second 5 really as much, but I just want to see them. Salazar, Wrath, Silas. It's a little bit of a stranger team. Another Araka with another Nisande and a Nyx this time. You don't see her all that much in Arena. Torador, Salazar, Arrogance again. And finally, Torador, Salazar, Hatsuit, Arrogance. And Elowen. This is the scariest one by far we've seen. Almost 500 KBP, a lot of A5 units in Hatsuit, Arrogance, Salazar, all A5. A1 Torador, A3 Elowen. That team I would not hit. I would hit it for the content, and I would lose. So this guy here, I remember when I said probably top 9 were refreshing. I would be willing now to say that this guy's not refreshing, and he won all those points based on his defense alone, because that's pretty crazy. That's an insane defense. So Kamaro, congrats. Let's take a look at my gear really quick for my team, just so you guys can kind of have a baseline of what I'm dealing with. I'll go too in-depth into it because this video is already getting kind of long. Here's my Silas. He's the star of the show. 85k BP with plus 11,000 attack, 98 crit, 126 crit damage. If you want to see the total stats, it is 16.5k, 1.1 attack interval at 379 speed and 276 crit damage. And he's on triple attack. I do need some work on this side, but at least we'll kind of show you what we're working with there. Next, we got Arrogance. Arrogance's gear is still a work in progress, but I think it's still quite good. He's 12.7k attack, plus 2200, 220 speed with 98 crit and 87 crit damage. There's a look at his total stats, 19k attack, 1.4 attack interval with 237 crit damage. Long story short, I'm working around this piece, and I don't really like crit rate mains, but those 2 stats are really good. I'm going to ascend that piece when I get 3 more Bullion, and then this is going to change to this piece, which has a gold crit damage roll as well. And then obviously I'm going to have to I'm going to have to replace this piece and ascend the one over here. But I have the spirits. I just don't have the Bullion to ascend this one, so he's in waiting until I get it. I need 3 more. And he'll be fully upgraded to the new set on the right. Just because that's an ancient piece, we'll show it real quick. No crit rate on it, but because we're running crit rate main, it's allowing me to use my ancient pieces that don't have crit rate. We do have Elowen in the team. Actually really happy with my Elowen. She is plus 18k HP, plus 13k attack, plus 210 speed, with 79 healing effect and 22 rage regen. So she is in total 33.5k HP with almost 20k attack, a 1.8 attack interval, and those stats are the same. So really happy with that. Not to mention, she also has Invigoration on, so that's going to help as well, as it will give a 10% attack boost, not only to herself, but also to a teammate, which is great. And who else was I running? Hit those three, who are the main three. All right, we're running Isolde and Wrath. So here's my Wrath. He's not full damage. He's like semi-bruiser-ish. But he is on attack or damage attack. So he's on attack. You see a lot of HP and defense substats. And crit damage. So 10k attack, only 69 speed, and 80 crit damage with max crit. Total 16k attack, 45k HP, so he's a little beefier. Mainly because I don't use him as much as a pure damage dealer because I have Arrogance and Zillitu. But if you were building him specifically for Arena, you could build him a little more damage heavy. Also, he's on Glacier set, so he gets a lot more attack out of that Glacier set because of the HP that he's got. So it actually works out quite nicely. And then finally Isolde. He's also 8/5, by the way. Oh, and I'll show the artifacts at the end, just in case anybody wants to see them. So my Isolde is on very weird sets. She's on a healer set, but it had 10% extra HP, so I gave her that. And she's on a speed set. I think she's on triple HP. Yep, triple HP, plus 54k HP, 75 speed. That's really it. And some defense. So she got 6k defense, 80k HP. Attack interval doesn't really matter much for her, and that's it. So in terms of artifacts, I have her on Oleg's wall for this. Reason being that I want her to be able to tank all those enemies when a bunch of them come out. So like, especially the lizards, you don't want the lizards to sneak by, because if they do, you auto lose the round. So just putting her on that is nice. Means that she can get that extra block in there. That plus her passive works out really nicely. Is her passive or ultimate? I don't remember. It's her ultimate. So if you need to block an extra one, you can hit her ult at the right time and potentially be able to add that extra block while you kill something. She's actually really good for Arena because of that. I like her in this mode in particular. I don't use her in any other ones, but in this mode, she's been great. For him, he is on a random Scarlet Hunt, even though I don't have a bleed, because I have so many fighters and I didn't have anything else to go around, so he's just on Scarlet Hunt for the stats. Got her on Orb of Euphoria for the increased attack speed of all heroes in range. I have him on Flawless Blade, increases damage by 6% every 4 seconds when no damage is taken. And he is in behind a tank, so it actually works out really well because he's never going to take damage, so at least until the very end. So he's going to have an extra 18% damage. And then finally, I have Nether Messenger on my Stylus. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. This video went a little longer than I had anticipated, but hopefully it helps you guys with this mode of Arena. I have no idea what's coming up after Sustained DPS, but we've now covered Anti-Air and we've covered Sustained. So it'll either be, I guess, AoE or single target next. So keep an eye out for that. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Check out the Twitch if you want to, and we'll see everybody next time. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye for now, guys.